Okay, let's talk through all these golf events that you have coming up.
Gabby, I'm glad you asked. Got my calendar right here. July 17th at Red Run, and then July 31st, I have the American Golf outing for the Cancer Society.
I also have the American Cancer Society golf outing on the 31st, and also I got yours on the 18th, buddy.
Yeah, I'm gonna be there.
Oh, boys, these are a lot of events and golf outings.
Well, you want me to miss my own golf tournament?
Gabby, they're all great calls.
I mean, this is.
Hold on. I got this. Guys, I got this. Don't worry about it. Hold on a second.
He always says that.
Hey guys, thanks for coming so fast. How are ya?
Remember the guys from Randy Wise, right? Sir. The Randy Wise Celebrity Golf Tour.
Flush for the eye.
There it is. Stay tuned.
It's the Randy Wise Celebrity Golf Tour. Some of the biggest names in Michigan sports. And some, well, not so much. Brought to you in part by Premier Security Solutions, Fairway Packing Company, and Swiss Insurance. Watch episodes at woodwardsports.com.
And here we go. Friday, May 26, 2023. Ermanni and Edwards with Mavs. Woodward Sports Network, woodwardsports.com, fox2detroit.com if you're watching live. However you are consuming Woodward Sports, we certainly appreciate it. Braylon Edwards, good afternoon to you, my friend.
What's up, my guy, man? I'm coming with the festive colors, man. You know, it's
Oh, you look good today.
It's Memorial Day. I appreciate that,
Every
man.
day, though. Every day.
Did you notice I cut my hair down?
I mean,
I cut the hair down, man. I've had my hair up to here for a very long time. I cut it down, cut the beard down. I said, you know what? Let me stop acting like, you know what I'm saying, I'm getting old. Let me start looking young again. So here you are, man. Here it is.
If you pull out a picture of Braylon Edwards from the University of Michigan, this 40-year-old version of Braylon looks like the 20-year-old Braylon.
You know what? You're so kind. I would just say minus the beard. I lacked the beard, but other than that,
You had the
man,
goatee, though, a little bit.
I did. It was thin, though.
Very thin.
Was that a shot?
Pencil thin.
Is that another
No.
shot? Did you double back? My God. But it feels good. Got the beard feeling good. Memorial Day weekend, Tom Mazawey. I know this is probably one of your favorite times. The weather's beautiful. Here comes barbecue. And oh, by the way, you get a chance to get on that lake. What you thinking, Tom?
Oh, loving it, man. Welcome in, everybody. Happy Friday. Happy Memorial Day weekend. Hope everyone enjoys themselves. I'm sure gas prices will be $4 before you know it. I'll be traveling to Cleveland tomorrow, believe it or not. I leave our beautiful weather to go to Cleveland.
What are you doing in Cleveland, Maz?
We're going away with a great couple that they're like our family. It's like our brother and sister, call it. And we're just going to celebrate our 25th anniversaries, and theirs is coming up as well.
Now, we're in
And
Cleveland.
instead of, we don't have the money to go to Paris, Europe, all this kind of stuff. Hey, let's go somewhere.
There's a Paris, Ohio.
There is?
You didn't know that.
We're not gonna go there,
There's
though.
a Paris, Ohio.
We're gonna go see the Guardians. Go see the game there.
Who are they playing, do you know?
They're playing the Cards.
Look at that.
Cardinals, love it. And
They're on
we'll go to
fire.
Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Haven't done that in like 20 years.
Cardinals on fire. I believe they're 14-5.
Yeah, they're rolling.
In their last 19
They
games,
are.
so that'll be a
They're
good
rolling.
game. to
Braylon,
check
do you have
out.
any tips on him on where he should go eat in the city of Cleveland? You know, it's a
Right.
city that you know very well, being the 3rd overall pick of the Cleveland Browns
So
in
the-
2005.
Long time ago. Cleveland has definitely changed since then. A friend of mine's lived there. Kareem lives there. I have some friends from there. The city has come back. They fixed up the flats. They fixed up the east side a little bit. So it's a lot nicer than when I was there, because the running joke would have been, don't go. That's what I would have told you. You want a little place to go.
Lake
Well, it's-
Erie's not on fire?
Well, no, the mistake by the lake. But they're actually doing some good things, man. They opened up some new restaurants down there off the waterfront. I think take advantage of downtown off the waterfront. That's what they've been working on for about the past 7-8 years or so. So it's some fun in Cleveland. I just got PTSD. Bad times in Cleveland. Bad times in Cleveland, man. Maybe one day I'll get over it.
Guys, I wanted to point something out. Totally unplanned. I'm wearing my Tigers hat today. Maz has his Old English D Tigers jersey on today, minus the Meyer patch.
I was thinking about putting the Meyer patch on.
Yeah, you got to sew it on yourself.
I'm going to go against that. Thank you.
But it is worth noting, this team is now 2 games out of first place. They won again last night. as they inch closer to 500.
Beat up on the White Sox.
They beat up on a bad White Sox team, exactly what you're supposed to do to a bad team, and they're having some fun. And it's a lot of the young guys that are doing it. This division is bad. I'm not saying they're going to win the division championship, but my goodness, wouldn't it be something to go pack that place tonight?
Yep.
Go pack that place tomorrow. Go pack that place on Monday.
Fireworks tonight.
This is exactly what we asked for. We are getting from the Detroit Tigers exactly what we asked for. Play competitive, play hard, win a few games, and just stay in it for a little bit. Get us through the summer.
I'll do you one better, Ryan. You've talked about this from jump. You say, hey, just be competitive. You lose a series, win a series. You lose two, damn sure win one. Lose a game, win a game. Stay competitive. They've done more than that. They're 2 games outside of first place, and it's fun. The other thing you asked them to do, Ryan, Maz, keep it close when it's nice outside. Like now it's nice outside. They're 2 games back. Memorial Day weekend. This is before it really gets hot because we know Michigan gets hot. We know Detroit off the lake. The lake effect gets hot. Go see some games. Pack the. Scott Harris has come in. He's made it a point to address some things. The things that he's addressed have gotten better, whether it was pitching. Well, look at Eduardo Rodriguez. Look at how he's pitching. You talk about hitting. Look at Baez being able to hit the ball. Look at Torkelson getting the ball. They're really having some great at-bats, a lot of good hits in the game. They're doing what we asked. So, you know what we got to do as Detroiters, as fans? Go support them.
A lot of exit velo.
Show love. Because guess what? Come August, if they're sitting 20 games outside of first place, you're like, damn, I should have went to the game in May when it was close. Go support the Tigers. This is your home team. Scott Harris doing a good job so far.
And, you know, a lot of this, too, is it's not smoke and mirrors in the sense that they're doing it with all of these veterans on a 1-year deal or anything like that. I mean, Riley Green is leading this team. Spencer Torkelson is hitting the ball a little bit for power. Jake Rogers is hitting the ball a little bit. Akil Baddoo is playing well. And you're going to get some guys back. I mean, Tarek Skubal is going to come back pretty soon. Now, Casey Mize is not. He had a setback. He is not. He's nowhere close. But they're getting guys healthy. And it's the young guys that are taking over. And, yes, you need Javi Baez to be somewhat similar to the Javi Baez of the past. You need this version of Javi Baez, not last year's version of Javi Baez. And they're playing good baseball. If nothing else, they're entertaining and they're winning some games.
Javi Baez hasn't played like this in a very long time. If you look at Javi Baez before he got here, Javi Baez had been on a descent since that Cubs run, since the World Series, since he was back-to-back All-Star games. Javi Baez had been on the descent. He's playing probably the best baseball that he's played probably in 3-4 years. The other thing about him, as is they're winning early. Like the last 2 years, 2 years ago, they were horrible for the first half of the season. Then they picked it up and they finished strong. And they gave us hope for 2022. 2022, they start off slow again and they finish slow as well. They're starting off fast. This is a good thing because what it does when you start off fast, it gets the other guys that might lose. When you start off bad, guys tend to go in that place. They tend to not hit as well. They tend to not approach it as well. They tend to not approach it with the same energy. And then you stink. And then you keep stinking. And everybody else, you can't pull everybody out of a rut. But when you're playing like this, guys are bringing extra energy. Guys are staying later. Guys are watching more film. Guys are seeing the pitchers. Where's the pitcher like to throw me? Where's the pitcher like to pitch me? You watch, like, guys are into it right now. It makes for a better team. Who knows what this ragtag, a group of guys can do? Man, as you called it, this could be our version of the movie we love, Major League. This could be our ragtag.
I'm telling you guys, they're going to hang around. They might not be within 1, 2, or 3 games. If they're within 5 games at the All-Star break, they're going to be buyers, I think. I don't know who they're going to send out. They got Alex Lang, who has developed into a great reliever. They got Eduardo Rodriguez, who the last 2 starts, not as great, but a definite terrific starter. They could get guys for these guys. It's out there. I believe they hang around most of the year, especially if the Twins don't get hot. The other 2 teams, the Guardians, they're going to get hot. The White Sox, they're underachieving. You got to strike now while the iron's hot. Win as much now as you can.
And what did Scott Harris say when he took the job? What was one of the things he wanted this team to be?
Be disciplined at the plate.
Be disciplined at the plate.
And pitch, but
10 walks last night.
Yeah.
This team drew 10 walks last night. And I don't think you can underscore that. That's not on accident that they walked 10 times last night. Yep. That is a plate discipline. Absolutely, Sam Flannel in the audible. That is a plate discipline that they would not have had last year. And I'm not, A.J. Hinch is doing a fantastic job managing this team this year. But I just think these little things become big things.
That's a major thing, and I don't want to talk too long on it, but you talk about taking 10 walks. Last year, and Javi Baez was swinging at everything, whether it was high, middle, low, inside, outside, across the plate, stepping over, falling down, swinging, horribly swinging at the plate. His eyes now, he's a guy that hits home runs. He's a guy that has had success at the plate in his career. Now you get the younger guys watching that. If Javi Baez can sit at the plate, he could stay in there and have that kind of control and that type of patience and that type of eye, as they say, I can do it too. So it's fun to watch, man. You've called it, Ryan, and pretty much everything you call for on the show tends to happen. Still waiting for the national championship.
Hey, 10 strikeouts by Alex Fallero.
Absolutely.
Don't pass. That kid is really coming to play.
No doubt, no doubt. Our good friend Jason Brown in the WoodwardSports.com chat wants to remind us that Al Avila traded for Alex Lane.
Hey.
So maybe Avila with a little bit of a piece for the future. We'll see. But guys, it's a great thing right now. I'm starting to fall in love with this baseball team as we end the month of May. Starting to fall in love with these guys. Team that I have fallen head over heels for are the Detroit Lions, though, Braylon, and they are in the news today for all the wrong reasons again. We will get to that, and then I am going to make an admission to you. If I'm wrong, I say I'm wrong. I was wrong about something, and I'd like to get to that next.
Is there a player that we've already heard from getting in trouble this time?
I don't know.
Okay.
We'll get to that. But first, a message from Guardian Alarm. They are your local security experts and have been for over 90 years. When you see this black and yellow sign out in front of your house, it tells the bad guys one thing.
Stay out.
Whether you are at home or on the road, their 24/7 professional monitoring, customized solutions from real experts, and technology backed by people means one thing. You are protected by the best. All you have to do is call this number right here, 1-800.
Stay out.
That number again, 1-800.
Stay out.
Call him today. Tell him Woodward Sports sent you.
You're out.
We are the network for Detroit by Detroiters. Welcome to the Woodward Sports Network.
The sports marketing agency would not be who we are without great community partners like Higuera Health and Carol Zuniga.
It's an awesome opportunity to partner with your organization. Higuera Health is a comprehensive behavioral health organization. We serve children through older adults with mental health, substance use, and developmental disabilities across Western Wayne counties, and really excited to now be in downriver communities as well. Give us a call at 734-458-4601.
Can't get enough Woodward Sports content? Head over to woodwardsports.com right now for up-to-date sports articles and great entertainment news. We have the best writers, bloggers, and coverage all at your fingertips. Head to woodwardsports.com right now to experience all Woodward Sports has to offer.
All right, couple of different things rolling with the Detroit Lions right now. The news of the day is that a fifth Lions player is being investigated by the NFL for violating the league's gambling policy. We do not know who that player is. We can talk more about that in just a second.
I think it's Michael Badgley. I'm only kidding.
You're only kidding. Let's not stick names out there, Tom Mazawey.
I'm joking,
okay, that's a joke.
They got three kickers.
They got three kickers.
All right.
Meanwhile,
I thought it was funny, man. I thought it was funny. I got your back.
Meanwhile, Jameson Williams spoke with the team yesterday, or spoke with the media yesterday, I should say. Yeah. Here's what he had to say for the first time since his being suspended for the first 6 games. Here's J-Mo.
It hit me out the blue, and it hit a couple other players around the league and on my team out the blue. I wasn't aware of this situation, but as it happened, like I said, I took it on the chin. I was ready to move forward as things moved on, and I got the consequences. So that's been my whole plan, moving forward from things.
Jameson Williams taking full accountability for what happened. He wasn't aware. He didn't even know what was going on. And I actually really believe that. here he is talking about his love of the city of Detroit.
Oh yeah, I love Detroit. They love me. Like everything about Detroit, I love. It's a real great city. I just look forward to doing real big things for the city, playing ball for the city. You know, taking the city to another level.
Okay, so that's two things from Jameson Williams there. Let me say this, and Braylon, I you know, sometimes you just got to figure things out for yourself.
Yeah, I'm salivating comment on this conversation.
Okay. When you're wrong, I think it's important to say you're wrong about something. This gambling stuff is so dumb and shouldn't even be a thing. The NFL ought to be embarrassed about it, and I apologize to Jameson Williams for coming down on him for this stuff. I don't think anybody really fully knows the rules.
Yeah.
I don't think they do a good job of informing the players when to gamble, when they're allowed to do it, what they're allowed to play, all this stuff. You know, we were talking to, God, who was I talking to? Oh, I was talking to Calvin Johnson. Was it Calvin? Damn it.
That was a life flex, but it's cool.
Yeah.
Life flex. Yeah,
Damn.
I was just talking to Calvin.
I don't remember who I was talking to, but I was talking to somebody involved in professional sports. And these guys don't know anything about gambling. They just don't. When you came here, Braylon, and we're talking, Mass, you remember that?
Of course.
We're talking
He's like,
about
over. What? I mean, what?
Lions +6. Braylon had legitimately no idea what this stuff was.
I'm still confused over a lot.
Over-unders, minus this, minus that. I really don't think they understand what's going on. And the NFL has done a terrible job of teaching them. So whoever this fifth player is, we don't know who it is, but I apologize to Jameson Williams for coming down on him as hard as I did, because this gambling stuff, they've opened up Pandora's box. They want to put the toothpaste back in the tube, and that's just not how it works.
What I would say is this is a great teachable moment, and the teachable moment is this. When we first started talking about this, Ryan was adamant about the situation. He was upset with Jameson Williams, more so from the missing 6 games, more so what that could do. And I jumped on. I said, look, I was like, they don't know these rules. I said, I guarantee you, I've been in the NFL. They don't necessarily make you sit in rooms, explain things to you. And so I jumped down Ryan Ermanni, and I owe you apologies because I actually see to a certain extent what you saw. So it's a great moment. But 100%, man, this is that thing. The NFL does not exactly do what they tell you they're going to do. For years with concussion, the people in the audience, they thought that everything was going right. The NFL cared about the players. The NFL was protecting them with the helmets, the best technology. Then the movie Concussion comes out. And then you find out that it's not the case.
I want the truth.
And exactly. And that's why he didn't win an Oscar, because that election was horrible. But then you find out they're not doing it. Then you find out NFL players are not being taken care of. Same thing with this. I guarantee you they're not telling these guys exactly what they expect from them as it relates to betting on games, as it relates to when you can do it, where you can do it, and etc. But going back to Jameson Williams, this is a great moment, Ryan. All Detroiters really wanted from Jameson Williams when the situation first came out. They just wanted him to show some level of sorriness. They wanted him to be sorry that he got caught. Or they wanted him to be sorry. They wanted to see that, hey, you know what? My apologies. I own this. Now I'm going to be serious. When you see him in Vegas and he's making bets and you saw him like he didn't care, it pissed a lot of Detroiters off, as it should. Because it wasn't the right time. It was a couple days later. Now you see Jameson Williams in a different light, a kid that loves Detroit. Much like the day after the draft when everybody said, he's not excited to be here. Look at his response during the draft. What did he say the next day? He was excited as hell. He talked to us. He was over the moon excited, talking about playing for the Detroit Lions. This is a guy that somebody's been in his ear. I will say that. Whether it's Calvin Johnson or whether it's somebody else, somebody has been in his ear. Somebody has gotten him to understand, and now he's being able to showcase, I do love Detroit. It's going to be great here. We're going to figure it out. I'm sorry, but let me tell you the truth. We really don't know what the heck is going on with this gambling thing. He's trying to give us a little insight to what's going on I guarantee you, it's not the only locker room.
And if it's not an NFL problem, it's certainly a Detroit Lions problem.
True.
Yeah.
The Detroit Lions did not do what they were supposed to do with this gambling stuff. You're talking 5 players and a number of other personnel. We still don't know who those personnel
They're not here anymore.
They are not here anymore. I don't even know who they are, to be honest with you. Those names were never revealed. We just heard Lions personnel involved. We don't know who. We don't know how many. Yeah. This is a Lions problem and an NFL problem. If the Detroit Lions did not do enough to educate the Lions players, the young Lions players, these aren't 10-year veterans who are making these mistakes. This is a 22-year-old kid. All he knows now is gambling, right? Gambling is legalized in his adult life.
True.
Since the time he's 17, 18 years old. Gambling is legal. He doesn't know who Pete Rose is. He doesn't, you know what I mean? He hasn't gone down that road. He doesn't know that in every Major League Baseball, there's no gambling, gambling. He doesn't think gambling's bad. He's
100%.
not taught that. It's not his age group. We did a story yesterday from the USA Today on the amount of people who are actually betting, and it's $30, $35. That's the average dollar that's being bet now. It's millions and millions of people. I don't think the Detroit Lions, certainly the Detroit Lions, and perhaps the NFL did not do enough to teach these guys what to do and what not to do.
And it's not just them. It's not. And the Detroit Lions, obviously, there's a disconnect there in Allen Park. Somewhere along the way, they got to figure that thing out because we can't keep saying, well, they didn't know. Well, they didn't know. Who the hell's job is it to be in charge to educate these individuals? But it is an NFL problem. It's not just the Detroit Lions problem because wide receivers coach Miles Austin, who used to play wide receiver for the Dallas Cowboys, he was a wide receivers coach for the Jets last year. He got suspended or fired from the Jets as a wide receivers coach because he was gambling. And if, as you know, no coaches, no personnel can gamble at all. Players can gamble on different sports when they're not at the facility, when they're not at places involved with the NFL or places involved with the Detroit Lions. I guess that would be the NFL. But he got fired, and he's a coach, and he wasn't betting on the Jets. He got fired. So apparently, clearly, there's a disconnect somewhere. They aren't letting the players know. They aren't letting the personnel know just exactly what they expect, just exactly what is okay and what is. They better figure this thing out because you don't want to keep having this problem, and we don't want to be sitting here in 2024, 2025 with the same thing because it won't be acceptable then.
Here's the problem, guys. The NFL's been against gambling since way back when.
I couldn't tell.
Go to the 60s when they made Joe Namath sell his he had a club in New York called Bachelors 2. But you know what? A bunch of mob guys hung out there. So Pete Rozelle said, I'm sorry. You got to let this place go. And Joe's like, well, I'm going to retire. I remember he cried. They got it all worked out. He wound up selling his interest in that. And then months later, a guy here with the Detroit Lions, a guy that's a Hall of Famer, Alex Karras, and Paul Hornung, the golden boy at Green Bay, both of them suspended for gambling. Now, gambling is on our phone. Come on. The 6-game suspension, the year suspension to Calvin Ridley, the year suspension to these other Lion players, and there's more coming down the road.
Essentially ending their career, by the way.
Basically. The Lions signed that special team guy, and I can't remember his name, and he's done. Yeah. They cut him. It's a double-edged sword, man. The NFL's got it. They got to fix it. They got to fix it. And like you said, Rye, the Lions have done, obviously, they've dropped the ball with this staff. And these players, they've dropped the ball because either they're not listening, like my kids don't listen to me, either they're not listening or they are ignorant of the facts. That's it.
Yeah, it's definitely not them listening because you're talking about individuals that are losing upwards of $300,000, $1 million. I mean, look what Calvin Ridley lost.
Yeah.
Making a $1,000 bet, $1,600 bet. Look at how much money he lost. No one's trying to lose that type of money. So it's clearly a disconnect. Quick pivot, though. I remember what Paul Hornung did, though, and why I don't like him. I'll tell you off air.
Hey,
go ahead.
By the way,
Paul
just saying.
Hornung. I hate Paul.
What was I just going to say?
Hate Notre Dame, too.
I just lost my train of thought.
Paul Hornung.
I pulled the Costanza. I lost my train of thought. It'll come back to me.
They don't know or they're ignorant to the fact. That's the last 2 words you said.
It'll come back to me. Yep, exactly. I pulled a George.
Yeah, I just think, 44-year-old Ryan Ermanni is a lot different than 22-year-old Ryan Ermanni.
42-year-old Ryan Ermanni.
Yeah, no.
You get better every year.
Yeah, no. I'm just saying. I don't. Go ahead, Maz.
I remember now.
Okay, go ahead before you forget.
Who did Jameson Williams work out with this past year?
Calvin Ridley.
Yep.
Yeah. They're Alabama guys, though.
I'm just saying.
They're Alabama guys.
I'm just saying. Those are the 2 guys that are suspended.
Yeah, I mean, well, technically not.
There's
because
more than
the
that,
Lions
more
have
than those
more,
two.
I'm just
the
telling
Washington
you.
Commanders have more. Man, I understand
Because
that.
they did speak and say his routes are so much better now than they were last year because Calvin Ridley supposedly is one of the best route runners
He is.
in the NFL.
So is Julio Jones and all those
But it's
Alabama guys.
though.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like they connect through Alabama. Like when you go to an institution like that, like I used to work out when I played in the NFL. I never worked out at University of Michigan. I love my school. I'm a diehard. You know, I'll fight you. You talk about University of Michigan. I never worked out at Michigan. I worked out with all the guys from Miami because those guys were cold. Because those guys at Brady, I mean, you talking about that 2003 draft. So when you go to a school like that, those guys work out together because they're the best. Why do I want to work out people that aren't the best? So shout out to Alabama and what they do off the field.
You know, look, I know there might not be as many forgiving people in the chat. Everybody does the right thing every now. You know, everybody does the right thing, and nobody does the wrong thing, especially
glass house guys.
Right, but I'm just telling you, is a 21, 22-year-old kid who might have been in some rookie class seminar. Who's paying attention? That's like,
you know what they're on? They're on their phone.
Yeah, I mean, who's paying attention to any work seminar? No offense. I mean, who's paying attention to these things that you got to do just because you got to do them? You're not paying attention. You don't understand the seriousness. And maybe I am blaming ignorance a little bit and going too far overboard and not giving him the personal accountability. Let's see what he does from here on out. How about this? If the NFL said, you know what, we got to do something. You get a game, slap on the wrist.
Yep.
Second time you do it, season.
Yeah, I like that.
But
not 6 games in a year.
Not, come on,
first
man.
Time.
And I wish he would have shared some details. Yes, if he would have said, I put $50 on the Celtics minus the 6.
Right. They tried to ask him, and he's like, I don't remember. I don't remember.
I just think it's so ridiculous. Shame on the NFL for allowing sports books to go into football stadiums and letting stadiums be named after casinos and doing all kinds of business with this. A guy puts a couple $100 on a basketball game, and you say no 6 games.
Where was this Ryan Ermanni in March? Because this Ryan Ermanni in March, like you went overboard on Jameson Winston, and everybody else out there did too. Would not let me. Well, not you. You did not. You've been pissed since Calvin Ridley. Yeah. You were pissed at the NFL for Calvin Ridley, so I gave that. But everybody in the chat, everybody around the city of Detroit, I can't believe he did this. Oh my God, you know what? Let's just trade him. Let's just get rid of him. Ryan, you never went that far, so I'm not putting you in that category. But everybody's saying that now all of a sudden it's like, you know what? It's on the.
It's very simple. You want to know why?
I have been saying this from jump. I said, look, at 21, there was a lot of things I wish I could take back at 21. I didn't know what I didn't know. I made a lot of mistakes at 21. But one thing is for certain, at 22, when I got in the NFL, a lot of mistakes I made. NFL didn't necessarily tell us exactly what to do, but they told the media, the public, and all the fans at home, this is what we do to our players. This is what we provide for our players. And everybody believed that. Jameson Williams has been the same age for the last 3 months, last time I checked. But now all of a sudden it's like, I said that back then.
But look, the more information you have about something,
but
I believe.
What's changed?
The more information, I don't think the NFL or the Detroit Lions.
I told you that then.
I know, but I wasn't sure of that because there was other information that said these guys go through X, Y, and Z, and it is at the forefront. But I don't believe it is. I think the more information that came out is these guys really aren't prepared for this. Yeah. They really don't know. And again, the more information you have about a subject, the better informed your opinion can be about it. And if you want to beat your feet in the sand and say I'm not moving off my stance on this, I think is dumb. Number one.
No, it is. It's true.
And number two, this is not a crime. This is not drugs. This is not guns. Yeah. This is not domestic violence. This is nothing you go to jail for. This is something where
legal betting.
This is legal, number one, but this is something that's advertised as you're a winner. What other addiction or problem advertises you winning? If you're an alcoholic, do they say, "Oh, you're a winner. Let's go win"? Or drug addict, or gun violence, or domestic violence? Do they call you a winner? No. Gambling, they do.
Yeah.
This guy doesn't know. I'm fully convinced he didn't even know what he was doing. I'm fully convinced of that. He might see the commercial. He might talk to his buddies. Oh, I'm putting $20 on the Tigers tonight.
You're right.
I really believe that. I could be wrong, and I might change my mind again. But right now,
but you know what? You have the ability to.
I have the ability to do that. So, on to the field now. He is going to be out. There is somebody that was released today. Is he a good fit? DeAndre Hopkins released by the Cardinals. We'll get to that next. But first, a message from Big Boy.
Yes, sir. Strawberry Fest is back at Big Boy. You could start it off bright early in the morning with those strawberry hotcakes or the mouth-watering red velvet waffle. If you're not in the mood for breakfast, how about a little lunch or a snack? The strawberry bacon chicken wrap or a nice refreshing summer splash salad and those desserts. You know it. That's what you go for. That's what you go to Big Boy for. Top thing for me is you go for the desserts. The classic strawberry pie, the deep-fried vanilla Oreos, and more. All there at Big Boy.
You have an opinion? Make sure it's seen and heard. Corner, jumper, tweet us, hop on the YouTube chat, slide in the DMS at Woodward Sports on all social media. How would you like to win not one, but 2 vehicles of your choice? One for you and one for your wife, your girlfriend, or your best bud. Get to Lady Jane's today for an award-winning haircut and automatically enter for your chance to win. Courtesy of Les Stanford Buick GMC of Ferndale. Lady Jane's, open 7 days a week, walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome. The only sports network in Detroit that starts with a W. You know, because we win. Woodward Sports, Detroit's winning sports network.
Welcome back, Woodward Sports Network. Hit that like button if you are watching on YouTube. Let's see if we can get to over 100 likes by the end of this segment. Subscribe to Woodward Sports. Coming up on 44,000 subscribers to this platform here on YouTube. Everybody listening on Apple iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, however you are consuming Woodward Sports, we absolutely appreciate you. Braylon, DeAndre Hopkins released after 3 seasons in Arizona by the Cardinals today. Buffalo, Baltimore, New England teams reportedly pursuing him. This is not a post-June 1st designation, so Arizona is going to take the entire $22.6 dead cap hit on this. That's from Ian Rappaport. So he is going to get his money. It's up to D-Hop now where he's going to want to go.
They can trade him.
They can trade him.
Up till 4 today.
Exactly. They can trade him for another hour and a half, so we'll see what happens. But would he be a good fit here in Detroit?
Let me ask you that before I get to that. This is where you need Neil Rule, Maz, I'll defer to you. If they trade him by 4, what is the team on the hook for that picks him up?
I guess that'll determine on the trade what they do. If Arizona picks up some of their money.
Okay.
But Arizona don't care. They'll take the hit because they don't want to sign anybody because they are, what kind of dumping do you call it?
What?
It's yes.
Organic dump?
Organic dump.
They're organically
dumping.
Yeah, they have like 4 number 1. They got so many picks next year. They are not going to win this year. They have no quarterback.
Yeah.
They're dumping this year.
Here comes the next question with D-Hop. So with D-Hop, that means you can give D-Hop what you want.
Yes.
You can negotiate. Bam.
He could sign for $1 million because he's going to get his money anyway.
There we go. Back to you, Ryan Ermanni. Hell yeah. Hell yeah, you bring in D-Hop. Look, I understand that he missed 6 games last year because of the PEDs. Look, when you get to the PEDs, a.k.a. performance-enhancing drugs, you can go into GNC literally and buy anything, and 75% of that stuff you're going to test positive for. That's just how it is nowadays. Every year, that NFL list of things that are in there gets longer and longer and longer and longer. And I'm not making excuses to get popped because you got to take care of yourself, but whatever. So a lot of people aren't trying to touch him because of that. The Lions should absolutely take a flyer on D-Hop for the right price. And the right price for me, 1 year, I give D-Hop $15 million for 1 year. I give D-Hop $15 million for 1 year. You're talking about one of the best receivers in the last 20 years. You're talking about a guy. I haven't seen D-Hop drop 1 pass his whole career.
Speaking of which, since 2020, DeAndre Hopkins' drop rate is 1.0%. That is the lowest among any wide receiver with a minimum of 175 targets since 2020. By the way, you know who else is on this list?
Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Amon-Ra St. Brown, 1.1%.
Yeah, he definitely catches everything in terms of on the field that has a pigskin and strings attached to it. But with D-Hop, man, not only do you bring in a guy that Just look at last year, Flannel 7. I know you're a guy that knows D-Hop. Just look what he did in 8 games last year. 8 games last year, he had 772 yards. He had 7 touchdowns. You're talking about bringing in this guy, and I want to get you in. Jameson Williams is a guy that we're talking about can be the future. That's going to be the future of this team. He's going to miss 6 games. You bring in D-Hop for that first 6-game stretch and then have him work with Jameson organically. It is invaluable for Jameson Williams on the field, not to mention getting the Lions off on the right start. Because what did we talk about? Your favorite team, your favorite player is playing the Detroit Lions game 1. If they can't hang with them, that could set them back to start the season.
Yeah, and then they have another tough game at home against Seattle. That's kind of a gauntlet at the beginning of the year. You don't want to go 0-2, and of course Jameson Williams. You hope that he's going to be the number 2 wide receiver when he is back, but he's missing the first 6 games.
Number 1.
I mean, you know what? You're not wrong.
That's
in that.
the long term,
at least with his talent, that is absolutely true. And with DeAndre Hopkins, for the right price, I agree with you, Braylon. He obviously can still play. He's been one of the best receivers in the league for 5 to 7 years, maybe longer.
Yeah.
I think this offense. Can you imagine, especially with DeAndre Hopkins, and when Jameson Williams comes back, it'll be unstoppable. It could be right up on par with the Kansas City Chiefs or the Buffalo Bills or the Philadelphia Eagles or something like that. If they can afford it, I would bring him in as well.
And the great thing about that, too, is DeAndre Hopkins does not take away from what Jameson Williams does. Jameson Williams is your burner. Jameson Williams is your guy that's 4, almost 2. He's getting down the field. He's going to take the top off the defense. DeAndre Hopkins is a guy that runs great routes. He runs over the middle. He runs all the routes in the route book. He doesn't mind going over the middle. Obviously, like we just said, he's not dropping anything. He's a guy that can get you going, and he's hungry. People really haven't seen DeAndre Hopkins ever in a big market space. He was in the Houston Texans. Then he was over there with the Arizona Cardinals. Detroit. Now, you don't think big market space. Everybody in the country is talking about the Detroit Lions. They got Monday Night Football. They have 5 primetime games. This would be a great situation for D-Hop to come into and be the man. Buffalo's on his short list, but Detroit should be on there as well.
You remember what someone asked him, what do you want for your next team? And he put a list out. He's like, I want a team that has a pretty darn good defense. I want a team that has a really good front office, steady. And I want a team that has a quarterback that really wants to win. Those 3 things, they're all check marks here in Detroit. But let's face it, the bottom line is Brad Holmes is not signed really, except for C.J. Gardner-Johnson, one huge name guy. He just don't do that. He don't bring a Bobby Wagner in. He just doesn't go that route. I doubt he's coming here. I think it's between Buffalo and New England, to be perfectly honest.
So as we are talking right now, if you're watching live, it's 2:38 p.m. on Friday, May 26th. If you're watching or listening another time, well, maybe he will have signed with somebody at that point. But as of now, right now, you could go listen to sports radio in Buffalo, Kansas City, New England, Baltimore, Philadelphia, Dallas, New York Giants. Everybody's having the same conversation about DeAndre Hopkins.
Yep.
Right now, at this minute, right now, all around the country, if your football team is a contender, they are having this conversation right now surrounding DeAndre Hopkins. One place in particular I do not want to see him is Philadelphia. If it's not Detroit, I don't care where it is. I just don't want to see it be Philadelphia because with Jalen Hurts, A.J. Brown, and Devontae Smith, I just don't want to see it there.
Yeah, they got too many wide receivers already on the list. They have 2 other wide receivers that are cold. They don't need him. I think he's going to Kansas City personally. I think that's the best fit for him because they got a young guy, Kadarius Toney. They got a couple other guys that are just kind of pick and play. You know how they do now because they have the big money for Patrick Mahomes, the big money for Travis Kelce. He goes over there. He lights it up, and he's instantly the number 1. But let's get back to Detroit. The cool thing about this, as it relates to DeAndre Hopkins, at least Detroit is in the conversation. At least we know that DeAndre Hopkins, if he took a real good look at Detroit, this is a contender. This is a team that no one has picked anywhere lower than 5 finishing in the NFC this year. They're a team that many people pick to win the NFC North. They're a team that's ascending, not descending. That's not staying in the same. So DeAndre Hopkins, Detroit's at least a team now that he would think about. Detroit's at least a team now that he may come to and even take the meeting.
A dark horse team on here, I think, is Baltimore. And Chili Damon says he's going to the Ravens. Remember what Lamar Jackson said back before he signed his contract with Baltimore? He said, go get DeAndre Hopkins and OBJ and then come talk to me. Well, they got one of those guys. They got one of those guys.
He already signed, though.
I don't understand how people would just be like, he's going here. They literally, the Baltimore Ravens have Rashad Bateman, who's a damn good receiver. They have Duvernay. Now they went out and got Odell Beckham. And they signed Zay Flowers.
Yeah.
How the hell is he going to fit in with those 4 wide receivers? He's not going to Baltimore.
Well, you do need
Kansas City.
You do. Yeah, well, Kansas City is the most logical choice, right?
But you do need what as it relates to
Baltimore. I was
going to
say you absolutely need 3, sometimes 4 wide receivers in most cases.
Rashad Bateman's a 1.
Yeah. I'm not talking about the Baltimore situation.
Yeah. Buffalo is the
Buffalo.
other one.
I mean, you got Stephon Diggs
but
and
your
boy
Gabe Davis.
Yeah, I know. You want to go? I know that's the thing. You want to go play in Buffalo?
The only attractive thing about playing in Buffalo is you be playing with Josh Allen and Von Miller
and the fans.
Hey, that's for the fans.
Yeah,
like, if I'm
that's
a
great franchise.
No, it's a great franchise, but it's Buffalo, man.
Yeah, I mean, if you had the chance to go play.
You're talking to a former player. Like, I'm not playing in Buffalo, and I understand how good they are. I know they're building a state-of-the-art
open-air stadium.
Open air, but it's minus 20 as soon as December hits.
How dumb is that?
I'm not going to
Open
Buffalo, and it's 40 miles from downtown. I'm looking at the Kansas City Chiefs if they're looking at me. I'm looking at the Detroit Lions if they're looking at me, and that would be the end of my list.
Yeah, it is.
The Patriots?
Yeah.
They're not going to the Patriots.
Well, they got nobody.
They haven't had a 1,000-yard receiver since Randy Moss. You know how long ago that was?
The Patriots are a dead franchise to me. Just a dead franchise. They shouldn't show up on any list.
They had the number 3 defense last year. I just want you to remember that. And now they got Bill O'Brien running the offense. Mac Jones is going to do much better this year. They're not as bad as you think they are.
No, I understand. They're a boring football team to me.
They're boring.
They're a boring football
they're
team to me. But I don't think
it's culture.
I don't think DeAndre Hopkins wants to go to a boring drill sergeant either.
He might not.
You know, you call up Andy Reid.
He doesn't want to go there.
Andy, I want to come win a championship.
And
you want me to come over? Yeah, I do.
I'd rather go to Dan. Hey Dan, DC, MCDC. Oh yeah, man, come on over here. Come on over here, Hop. We got it for you. This is the place for you, man. Come on.
You also got to look at like the places players have been. Like he hasn't been to any franchise that he's like. He's got terrible experience with the Houston Texans, terrible experience with the Arizona Cardinals, partly in because of him himself. He caused that, but he's had bad franchises, man. He wants to go somewhere where one, it's a cool situation, it's a cool environment, it's a winning environment, and everybody's cool, man. He's on the same page. That Bill Belichick and the Patriots, he's not going there. I can tell you that. Now, the only reason Randy Moss went there is because he got traded.
Give me a top 3. Give me a top 3. Before we leave this, give me a top 3. DeAndre Hopkins will go X, Y, and Z.
KC.
Okay.
Detroit. Buffalo.
Detroit 2. That's awesome. I love to hear that.
KC, Detroit, Buffalo, because the things he said, defense, you saw what Brad Holmes did in the offseason, and that secondary, you saw what he did in the draft to build the defense up. So with that being said, that's check 1. A franchise that's in shape. Let's just call it in shape. They're an in-shape franchise. They know what they want. They know what they want to do. The things they talk about, they actually go out and do it. The players love them. That's step 3. And they're a contender. Well, that's step 2. Now they're a contender. That's step 3. Why wouldn't you take the phone call? Why would you not want to come here? And you can build for the future. DeAndre Hopkins has made a lot of money. He's made a lot of cash. He wants to make more, but he wants to win. He's in a space to be in a good franchise, good headspace. Leaving Cleveland, I was so happy to get to the Jets, but I didn't even pay attention to the franchise until I got to the New York Jets. Oh, my God, it was night and day. It's nothing like being around that. And when you get around people that make you feel good, people that will tell you the truth, and people that are building something special, the money starts to not be that important. Now you start to say, you know what? Shoot, I probably could squeeze you guys for 20 if I wanted to. Man, let's get this championship. Here's 12. Here's 12 for a year. Let's see how it goes, and let's come back 2024.
I got the Bills, I got the Chiefs, and I got a dark horse of the New York Football Giants.
Ooh.
It's a good one.
But if I'm him, I'm not going to play with Daniel Jones.
I got Kansas City, number 1. I got Philadelphia, number 2. Those are the 2
How?
Championship.
But he's still a number one receiver.
Championship.
Yeah, but he's number one.
Oh, I could be wrong. It's my list.
A number one's not going to team. He may be a number 3.
It's just my list.
But I'm trying to educate you.
Okay, and then my dark horse, the Dallas Cowboys. The Dallas Cowboys.
Why not?
Go play with C.D. Lamb.
Yeah, he was with, actually, bringing up people who were with. He was actually with, after the football season, he was with Dez Bryant. DeAndre Hopkins was with Dez Bryant working out back in March, April. So that could be something there. That may be number 1.
Ooh.
Like, you might be honest, that might be number 1. See how I pushed you?
See,
you push back?
I push back a little bit sometimes. You never know what you're going to get with me.
And now they're on TV. Look at that. Cowboys.
Oh, my gosh.
That's
look
the
at
sign.
That is the sign. How
Cowboys.
about that? All right, guys. Big NBA game last night. Is this thing getting back to Boston? My goodness.
I got a bold prediction.
Celtics and Heat heading to a game 6, and then fill in the blank Friday coming up top of the hour. We're going to have some fun with that. But first, a message from Fairway Packing Company. They were on Fox 2 today, Fairway Packing Company. We did a grilling segment, absolutely, with my good friend Emmett Barada for over 60 years. Fairway Packing has been providing Michigan's finest restaurants, hotels, casinos with prime beef, Wagyu beef, and dry-aged beef, but you don't have to go to any fancy places other than your own home this Memorial weekend. For your cookout, head to Fairway Packing. They have a steak shop in Grosse Pointe Woods on Mack Avenue. You walk in, grab and go steaks, pull out whatever you want on the old grill.
There you go.
And there you
it's
go.
That time. It's that week.
Fairwaypacking.com. They ship anywhere. Fairwaypacking.com. Fairwaypacking.com. Source cut, aged, packed to perfection.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on Shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward Golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids, all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
Introducing the Planet Fitness Guide to getting that post-workout glow. Step 1. What's your why? More epic energy? Better sleep? Blow off steam? Step 2. Join Planet Fitness for just $10 a month and get moving in our clean and spacious clubs. Step 3. Bask in that post-workout glow. Join Planet Fitness today for just $10 a month.
Join today at any of the 50-plus Detroit area locations.
A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports.
Subscribe to Woodward Sports on YouTube. Hey, if you are on woodwardsports.com, hit up that shop. We got some great merch on there as well. Braylon, I wanted to hit you with this.
Your best shot?
I thought last night whoever won that game was going to win the series. Obviously, if Miami won, the series was over. And Miami was going to win. If Boston... I don't know how Miami stops this train right now. When are they going to stop the bleeding? It was a complete domination by the Celtics last night from start to finish.
100%. We didn't really get a chance to get into it last night. Yesterday on the show, Matt. I wish we would have gotten into it because I was going to say the same thing. If they win this one, I think they're going to win it all. And the reason why I started that yesterday, if they win that one at home, because now all they got to do, and this is Jaylen Brown, by the way, they let us get 2, so don't let us get another one. That's from Jaylen Brown. No poop Sherlock, but he's actually telling the truth. Your last night was a pivotal game because if you win that second one at Boston, all you got to tell yourself from the mindset of the team is, hey, look, all we got to do is win Game 6 because there's no way that we're going to come back to the TD Garden and lose Game 7 at home in front of that crowd in Boston. I guarantee you that was the conversation, and now here we are. They've won 2 in a row. They're going down to Miami to play Game 6. They win that game. They're not losing Game 7. Now, I'll take it a step further. If they win this series, they win it all. Hear me out. I understand Jamal Murray is playing at an unbelievable clip, one of the most efficient percentages we've ever seen in the playoffs. Jokic is the best player in the league. No need to say any more about that. And then that team top to bottom has been playing amazing, from Michael Porter Jr. to Aaron Gordon to Casey Caldwell-Pope to Bruce Brown. The list goes on. Those jokers got a 10-day break. They got a 10-day break. And you're talking about a team that's coming off winning 4 in a row, if that happens. And then they will go into the game 2 days later to play, I think a day later, Thursday, to play and finish the Nuggets. Those guys are going to be riding an unbelievable wave. No team has ever won 4 games in a row and entered the finals. I'm just saying they're going to be on an unbelievable wave. And that momentum, Tom, you've watched a lot of games.
Oh, yeah.
You've seen a lot of momentum from baseball. You've seen a lot of momentum from the NHL. Sorry, the MLB. I had a brain fart. For NHL, you've seen a lot of playoff games. Have you ever seen a team in basketball win 4 in a row heading into the finals? That's rare air. I'm telling you, they got a shot. If they win this series, which I think they do, they're going to win it all.
I pray. I can't take another Boston comeback. And it's not like I despise the Celtics like I do the Red Sox, but I can't stand, if I have to hear these people in Boston say that they pulled off 2 freaking miracles, I pray that Miami pulls off Game 6 and ends this damn thing. Please win tomorrow. I want to believe in Eric Spoelstra and Jimmy Butler. I want to believe that, each game is different. There's no momentum. I don't believe that. I'm a fan. I believe momentum carries. I really do. Players and coaches want to tell you momentum don't carry because that's how they have to coach. But I pray to God that Miami stops the train tomorrow. Because if they don't, I'm with you, Braylon. I think Celtics run the table and they beat the Nuggets as well. I hate to say it, but 10-day layoff, go back to the 06 Tigers and the 12 Tigers. You lay around and wait after you just demolish your opponent. You can't get it back quick enough to get rolling again. Boston will roll anybody if they win the series.
And I don't want to disrespect what the Miami Heat have done. I don't want to disrespect Jimmy Butler. I don't want to disrespect Strus. I don't want to disrespect Martin. I don't want to disrespect, and the list goes on. And Duncan Robinson, Kyle Lowry, what he's been doing, Kevin Love. But if you let's call a spade a spade. They act like they weren't worried after the Celtics won Game 3. Then they act like they're not worried after the Celtics win Game 4. Game 5 and 6 or 4 and 5. Excuse me. They are definitely worried. Vincent did not play. Vincent had 29 points a game ago.
He might not play again.
Might not play again. And you're talking about a team that's already trying to string together players just to be able to make it through the playoffs. And now one of the best players coming off your bench, Vincent, isn't playing. And now you're struggling to see what's going on. Not to mention, I want to bring you in on this one, Flannel, the adjustments that Mazawey made. Mazawey may not talk to the referees, which I don't like. He may not be loud, which I don't like. He may not be a guy that you see doing things. But yesterday, that offense looked a lot better. You saw what they were doing in terms of Tatum driving, pivoting back, some of those hook shot passes that he was doing. I'm telling you, man, he's in trouble.
Hey, you know what? Maybe Joe Mazzulla isn't getting fired after all. Maybe he can coach a little bit. I mean, I'm not saying that he's Ime Udoka or anything, but he's not. I don't know if Joe Mazzulla is necessarily a bum. I will say this. After the Celtics won Game 4, I was saying then that the Celtics were coming back and winning this series. The reality of the situation is the Miami Heat, all of their role players, guys like Caleb Martin, Gabe Vincent, Duncan Robinson, Max Strus, even Kevin Love and Kyle Lowry, have all been shooting their playoff three-point percentage, all of them increased during the playoffs to the regular season. In the regular season, the Heat were not a good three-point shooting team, but in the playoffs, everything they throw up, besides for Game 4, has basically been going in. To me, along with Jimmy Butler obviously being great, particularly in round 1, that is the reason why they have won those games, because their shots are falling. But now the Celtics shots are falling, and they are a better three-point shooting team than the Heat. So to me, the Celtics are the more talented team. They're the hotter team. They have the 2 of the 3 best players in the series. They are going to win these next 2 games, I believe. And honestly, it wouldn't shock me if they won them both comfortably. The Miami Heat are done.
I agree with Sam. I think the Miami Heat are done. They allowed them to win 2 games. That is a real thing. When you look at that team, another thing that bothers me, who was lighting it up this whole playoffs and in the season, because he is all-pro, second team, I believe, for the Miami Heat? It's Jimmy Butler. What was Jimmy Butler last night? 14 points? It seems as though, and they were missing.
Who is Hemi Butler.
Hemi Butler is Jimmy Butler in the playoffs. It's his Bizarro. It's like Cliff Paul. It's Hemi Butler.
You mean Chris Paul?
Cliff Paul. Because in the playoff, he turns to Cliff Paul. He needs that that insurance policy from State Farm. But when you look at Hemi Butler, he wasn't there last night. He didn't have to play 3 games ago because his team still held him down, and he had only a couple points. Last night he had 14. They don't have that closeout mentality. That's one of the things where you talk about, well, what Jimmy Butler? I mean, he's not that guy. Why is he bouncing from team to team? Well, we know that was circumstantial from team to team, but at the same time, is he a closer? Like, you got to be one of those dudes to close. And it doesn't seem like right now he's trying to close out the Boston Celtics, who are the second best team, top to bottom in the NBA, only behind the Denver Nuggets. So this is a tough spot, man. He's trying to close out against guys that now are finding themselves again. Marcus Smart even hit back-to-back threes. That never happens. Derek White, 3 threes in the first quarter. They are finding themselves. Mazawey, like you said, he may not be a bum. He may not be better than Ime Udoka, but he's figured something out on film, because that was a much different team last night in the Celtics that it had been, even the game they won in Game 4.
If Mazawey wins this series and Boston wins this series,
he keeps his job.
He'll keep his job. Not only that, he'll be on a pedestal like they put Terry Francona in that 04 Boston team that came all the way back.
Isn't it funny? Just two games ago,
it was over.
Well, forget about the Celtics, but this guy lost his job.
Yeah.
Mazawey can't coach. He's overmatched. He can't make adjustments out of the second half or out of timeouts. He doesn't know what he's doing. He's not Ime Udoka.
Yeah.
And then 2 wins, and this guy's going to keep his job. He's a great coach, and everything we said about him prior to.
Right. I don't think
not us. I'm just saying, like, us as a media.
He's not a great coach, but at this time, but things change. Like you said, things change. Like when you're down 3-0 and you're the number 2 seed in the East, and everybody's expecting to see you versus LeBron anyway, and then you allow the team that was the worst scoring offense in the East during the regular season, a team that was the 8th seed, a team that doesn't even have their best shooter in Tyler Hero. When you allow them to get you down 3-0, everything that was said about the Boston Celtics was deserved, including their coach. But then when you win 2 games in a row and Jason Tatum is playing the way he's playing, Jaylen Brown's still not playing well, but they're getting play from Marcus Smart played better, Derek White played better. They're looking like a team that I can see hang with the Denver Nuggets, if not win. So they deserve the kudos we're giving them now.
All right, guys. Hey, great stuff.
Shout out, side note, I didn't mean to cut you off. You mentioned 04, the Boston Red Sox, that comeback. This will be the basketball comeback. They also have the Super Bowl comeback with the Patriots.
28-3.
28-3. So they will have 3. They will have 3 out of 4 biggest playoff comebacks.
Did the Bruins ever come back down 3-1 or anything?
It was the
Not that I know of.
Maz, you hate Boston, don't you?
Oh God.
Yeah.
Where am I from?
New York.
Jersey and New York. We don't like each other.
Why don't you like them?
That's just the way it is.
Why does it have to be like that?
It's sports, man.
All right.
Boston was founded by a bunch
I don't like guys that wear the Boston hat in the street. I automatically don't like them. I don't like them.
I'm glad this isn't 04. I only wore the Boston B in 04 because of my name.
Braylon. Why don't you wear the Brooklyn Dodger one? That's a better beat.
Because that's like 1940.
That's a better beat.
It's hard to find those in 04. I got to go to New York to get one.
Oh God, I love
Never
it.
wear a Boston beat.
Never.
Not anymore.
Never. Guys, we'll take a break. Top of hour number 2 coming back. It's a fill in the blank Friday. We'll do that. But first, a message from Cousins Maine Lobster.
From New England, right? In
Right
Maine,
on
except
time.
it's right here in Detroit. That's what makes it really good. CousinsMaineLobster.com. Don't forget, go on to that code right there on the side of me there. What do they call that? The QR code? Do what you do to that QR code. Put your camera up to it. Take you right to their website. And then you can download their app, their schedule, find out where those trucks are. 2 food trucks rolling around the city of Detroit for the best lobster and lobster bisque. The New England clam chowder, second to none. Make sure you tell them the Woodward Sports people sent you over. The more you order online and pick up, the more points you get, the more money you save. CousinsMaineLobster.com.
Can't get enough Woodward Sports content, head over to woodwardsports.com right now for up-to-date sports articles and great entertainment news. We have the best writers, bloggers, and coverage all at your fingertips. Head to woodwardsports.com right now to experience all Woodward Sports has to offer.
By now you know me, Christina Gennari, as the obvious choice in real estate. And you know my website, soldchristina.com, as your #1 resource for buying or selling your home. Myself, along with my amazing staff, pride ourselves on making your home buying and selling experience a relaxing and easy one. Come see why we are the obvious choice. Christina Gennari at soldchristina.com, the obvious choice in real estate.
How would you like to win not one, but 2 vehicles of your choice? One for you and one for your wife, your girlfriend, or your best bud. Get to Lady Jane's today for an award-winning haircut and automatically enter for your chance to win. Courtesy of Les Stanford Buick GMC of Ferndale. Lady Jane's, open 7 days a week, walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome. We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side. Woodward Sports.
Top of hour number 2 here on a Memorial Weekend Friday. Hopefully, if you're heading up north, wherever you are going, you're doing so safely and remembering our men and women who gave their lives so that we could do what we do here in this country. Happy Memorial Day, everybody. Think about those men and women at some point throughout this weekend. Maybe say a prayer for them, or whatever faith you believe in, do that.
Yeah, my godfather, who's no longer with us, he used to always say, you may not appreciate the politics of the war, but you got to appreciate the people that laid their life on the line for this country. So always have much respect for those who laid their life down in the country and even serve for the country, for the freedoms that we enjoy every day, always.
Absolutely. Happy Memorial Weekend, everybody. Let's do this. It is a fill-in-the-blank Friday. Tom Mazawey has provided the questions. We are providing the answers. So without further ado, Mr. Verlander, a.k.a. Tom Mazawey, a couple people want to know which number you had on that. JV, we love him. He does not love us.
No, he will. He'll be in the Hall of Fame as a Tiger. He will.
Houston Astros.
Never.
Astros.
Never.
2 rings.
I don't care.
2 rings. Another Cy Young.
Here we go. You guys kind of rained on my parade already. My first question.
Okay.
But I'll ask it anyway. Blank will win the Celtics Heat series. I didn't realize we were going to do basketball right before this.
I'll go first.
But I'll go ahead. Let's get it down.
I'm going to say the Heat, and I'm just going to go with history.
Yeah.
It's never been done before. Until it happens, I'm going to go with the Miami Heat. History is on my side. Heat.
This is true.
I know what you're picking.
Hell yeah. 2016, another team was down 3-1. It had never happened before, and LeBron James ends up beating Steph Curry. So it didn't happen, but then it happened. I'm going with it's going to happen. Things have to happen eventually. And Boston Celtics will win.
I'm going with Miami because I cannot say the other word. So that's what I'm going with. I'm not going to go to Sam on this one because I already know he's picking the C's. So I'll go to this one now. The Tigers will be blanks or blanks at the trade deadline. And I'm looking for
buyers or sellers.
Correct.
And I am going to go with buyers. And it was either stand pat or buyers. Because I do think this division is historically bad. And I'm not sure they're not going to be around. The deadline is later now. I believe it's into August. And I think they're going to be alive. Nothing tells me that they can't be around 500 at least. And that might be good enough to win the division. And 84-78 might just win this division.
Yeah. I had a different answer, but I'll answer both. I said first in the AL Central. That was my answer.
Wow.
But that means buyers. I think they'll be buyers. This is Scott Harris' first year, right? What do GMs like to do? There's no imprint of him on this team. He wants to bring in some players. He wants to make a move that he championed, that he did. Think we'll be buyers, and I think he makes a big move because then he'll be like, oh, now it's his welcome to Detroit party. Buyers at the trade line.
Sam Flannel, I'm going to come to you on this one before I make mine.
Ooh, I don't want to be the dark cloud in the room, but I will say this.
Sellers.
I will say this. The Detroit Tigers have a run differential of -44, and the Minnesota Twins have a run differential of +45. That is a 99 run difference, even though they are only 2 games apart in the standings. The Tigers have been a little bit lucky, but it has been fun to watch. Riley Green's been playing well. Obviously, their bullpen, a guy like Eduardo Rodriguez. But I think at some point this season, they will decide it is more advantageous for them to trade Eduardo Rodriguez. His value's already going down with his last couple starts. They will trade Rodriguez. As much as I hate to say it, sellers.
Can I change my answer? After him speaking, can I change my answer?
I'm sorry, you're locked in.
No, I'll stay locked in, but there is one thing I actually agree on, and that's the Tigers are in their division, they've played. What division has the most wins? The Rays division. It's the AL
East.
The AL East. They have the most wins out of any division. They have played them the least amount out of every other team in our division. So that's something the Tigers will run into. So you might be right, but I'm sticking with first place.
I'm going with buyers for the first time in over a decade.
What?
That they're going to be buying at the trade deadline. I believe this team stays in it. I believe the AL Central is a sewer, and they have a chance to win like the 1973 Mets won with a .500 record, and they made it to the 7th game of the World Series before losing to the Oakland A's. I'm going to go with the Tigers to stay in this thing. I've been to a ton of games this year already, and I want to continue to go throughout the summer. Go Tigers. Here we go.
Mets win 69, Maz?
Mets in 69 won.
Right.
And in 1973, they lost in Game 7 of the World Series.
Nolan Ryan was on that 69 team.
Yes, he was.
There we go.
Maz, what's a number? I'm throwing 84 wins to win this division. What kind of number do you throw out there?
I believe 82 wins
really?
to win it. Yeah.
Like an 82 and 80 might get it done. Like,
I do.
hey, the San Francisco, the St. Louis Cardinals back in 06, I believe, were 84 and 78.
And they won it all.
And they won the World Series.
Yep, because they got hot at the right time.
Yep.
All right, here's another one, guys. As you know, Michigan State's going to be playing on Black Friday at Ford Field. They'll be hosting Penn State. They moved the game. MSU will be blank by the Black Friday game. I need a record.
Closed. No, I'm joking. How many games will they have by the Black Friday game? Will they have played?
That'll be their last game.
That'll be their last
game.
game.
How many games do you play in a regular season?
12.
There you go.
They will be 6 and 5.
6 and 5, going for a 7th win, huh?
6 and 5. I'm giving them some. I'm giving them some love. I crack a lot of jokes, a lot of pettiness. I'm saying 6 and 5. I got
All right, here you go. I initially said 4 and 7, so I'm going to go Central Michigan win, Richmond win, Washington loss, Maryland loss, at Iowa loss, at Rutgers loss, Michigan loss, at Minnesota loss, Nebraska loss, Ohio State loss, at Indiana loss, 2 and 9.
Holy crow.
They're going to be 2 and 9.
Go ahead, Sam.
Indiana's not that good anymore.
Okay, 3 and 8.
Sam, you got the floor.
Oh, man. 2 and 9. You know, Ryan, I would be the happiest person alive if that happened. I hope to God you're right.
Central might beat them in the opener, by the way.
I mean,
I like Kim at quarterback.
It would shock me. You know what I will say? I will give them a little bit more credit. I think they will be 5 and 6, and they will need this game to be bowl eligible. Just
why did I let you go ahead of me?
Is that what you said?
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing.
5 and 6.
And they're going to play that game to go in a bowl, and I think they sell out the joint.
The thing about the Penn State game, obviously, we know Penn State's a much better team than Michigan State. Penn State's probably the 3rd best team in the Big Ten this year, and especially by the preseason rankings. But Michigan State plays Penn State well. It's something about that Michigan State-Penn State game that they always play well. So who knows what's going to happen? James Franklin, we know he likes to choke. So I'm thinking it could be a 6 and 6 season.
All right, man.
Michael Leday on the chat, 4 and 7. Jack Harrington, 5 and 7. Troy Fiegel, 3 and 8. Mikey G, 5 and 6. Harold Williams, 7 and 5. Chromium Dragon, 4 and 7. Mikey G changed his mind, 2 and 8. He's going down.
Seriously.
Okay, I got a bonus question for you guys before I get to my last one.
Okay.
Bonus question is, blank will win the Stanley Cup.
Florida Panthers.
You know Florida. Who's in it right now.
Florida Panthers.
And then Vegas is playing the Stars up 3-1.
Florida.
Florida Panthers.
Florida.
Sam?
Florida, they've got Matthew Tkachuk and Bobrovsky. The hottest goalie and the best player. Give me Florida.
I got Florida, as you know. So, all right. Thanks so much for the bonus question.
Last year, who won the Stanley Cup?
I forgot.
It's the Avalanche.
Oh, yeah.
What did they do in the conference finals?
They went down.
They swept. No, I'm talking about last year.
Oh, yeah.
They swept last year.
Yeah.
So I'm saying it's going to be the same thing. Florida swept this year. They're going to win it all.
All right. Here we go.
Down. You sound like him yesterday.
Our final fill-in-the-blank question. Blank will be kicking for the Detroit Lions this year. They got 3 kickers. Ryan, lead off.
Well, this is with much debate, but I believe Michael Badgley will be kicking for the Detroit Lions next year. I believe his manhood has been challenged a little bit with the signing of John Parker Romo of the XFL and bringing back Riley Patterson. This is a competition. He did have a decent year last year. There's 2 ways to go when you face a little bit of adversity or when somebody doesn't fully buy into you. You can put your head down and you could fall deep in the alley, or you could put your head up, work hard, and go win that job. And I believe that's what Badgley is going to do. I believe this is Badgley's job to win.
The answer is both. I think they bring Badgley in. I think he kicks the short, the mid-range. I think he bring in Parker Romo. He kicks it. His first name is Parker, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's John Parker Romo.
So Parker Romo.
Yeah.
I dropped the job. I think you have both. He has the leg. I think somebody said in the chat yesterday, he's the guy with the big leg. Badgley's not known for his big leg. So I think you have 2 guys. You have a big leg guy, kickoff guy, and then you got the guy that's the intermediate guy that makes all the 45 and down. Both those guys will be kicking.
I'm not going to Sam yet because he'll steal my guy. And it's for sure going to be Riley Patterson. They traded for him yesterday. They gave up a draft pick for him. They gave up nothing for Badgley. They signed him to a small deal. They'll cut a deal with him. He's going to be gone. Romo might be kicking on a practice squad somewhere. But it's definitely going to be Riley Patterson. And I'll throw it to you, Sam, for the finale.
I actually agree with you, Maz. I think it'll be Riley Patterson. I don't know why why the Jaguars were even willing to trade him. He was an 85.7% field goal kicker last year, which was a big leg. But I mean, that is true. I think Braylon, maybe they'll have multiple kickers, but I think that their lead kicker will be Riley Patterson because he has been very, very accurate throughout his career.
So Riley and Romo, or Riley and Badgley?
Probably Riley and Romo.
I like that.
I just don't know how you keep 2 kickers on a roster.
You don't need a kickoff guy anymore.
Yeah, no.
Because they're going to call a fair catch on the 25-yard line anyway. Remember how some people used 2 kickers?
We had 2 kickers. That's why I came over the – well, once I had 2 kickers with the 49ers. And we had a big leg kicker, and then we had David Akers. He was a little older by the time he got to the 49ers.
Different game. Different game.
You're right, though. It is a different game.
Different game.
I got to stop giving information out, man. This is a different game. I ain't played this game. I was watching Jason Williams on All the Smoke, white chocolate basketball player, and he was talking about this NBA today, man. So I got skills, man. I'm from Bell, man. I did my thing, but I can't play in this league. You know what I'm saying? I don't really know this league, so maybe, I don't know. I got to be quiet.
No doubt. All right, guys, we're going to go around the NFL. Next, some news and notes from the league. But first, a message from Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac Buick GMC. That's right, Buick GMC, a trusted name for over 50 years. Les Stanford has expanded into Ferndale. Les Stanford Buick GMC, same great service that customers have come to know. Go check them out on Woodward, just south of 9 Mile. Of course, looking for a Chevy or a Cadillac. Spenny just bought one. He got one from the Dearborn location.
Oh, yeah.
Find the brand you want under one umbrella. LesStanford.com. LesStanford.com.
Find new road.
Find them.
The only sports network in Detroit that starts with a W. You know, because we win. Woodward Sports, Detroit's winning sports network.
It's a great day to get some Centron in your life. Okay. There it is. Centron, here we go. Gotta grab the cranberry. Oh wait, it's 2 for $4. Gotta double up with the classic as well. Centron World, baby. Centron, available at select Kroger's, and if you want to know how, go to @CentronWorld.com. You get dope like me. You know what? Why wait? Great taste, guaranteed.
He is something else. How big is that?
All of Detroit sports Woodward. All of Detroit's sports coverage lives on Woodward Sports, driving the best in Detroit sports coverage.
WoodwardSports.com on a Friday, a Memorial Weekend Friday. The sun is shining. Traffic is
looks smooth.
Well, it looks smooth on Woodward, but AAA says do not travel between 3 and 6 p.m.
I saw that
on Friday. 37 million Americans going to either hit the road or the skies this Memorial Weekend. That is 2 million more than a year ago. Record travel in this country right now.
It is Memorial Weekend, Ryan. What you got planned this weekend? I
mean,
not
much.
You got a 3-day weekend? You got Monday
Not
off?
Not much. Gonna go to gonna do Dina Senefani's daughter's graduation party tomorrow.
Tell Dina I said hello.
I will do that, and then other than that, I think there's a barbecue on Sunday, but I am a no plan kind of guy right now.
If you think that means it's not at your
I
house.
am overscheduled in my life, so I told Nicole, let's just kind of leave it open.
Okay.
Get some projects done around the house.
Oh yeah,
breathe a little bit.
I might come. I'm at
too overscheduled.
I'm at the pass.
Too overscheduled.
What about you, man?
I'm heading to Cleveland.
Oh, that's
I
right.
leave tomorrow
I'm
and
so
have some
sorry
fun.
for your loss.
Thank you. That's okay, man. It's a fun weekend.
I'm
We'll have a
just
nice
joking.
time. The girls are looking forward to it because they're going to get to be by themselves and run the household.
Oh Lord! Now is this?
Grandma will be there.
Is this the first time? Oh, the grandma be there.
Grandma will be there, but she's
Is
got to
grandma
give.
paying attention? She chilling.
She'll pay attention.
Okay.
You know it.
My grandma's like she'll be sitting watching judge shows.
Judge Judy.
Judge Judy on DVR like you.
There you go.
Tom Mazawey, let's go around the NFL.
All right, let's do it. Here we go, guys. I want to start with this. The 33rd team came out with a coaching rank. I want to put this up on the screen. Dan Campbell comes in 16th on the list. And Rye, I'll leave it to you guys. I gave you guys the sheets.
Let's go.
You can roll
let's go
down.
one by one.
Yeah, and let's see who should move up, who should move down.
And I don't have that sheet,
Yeah, I
Matt,
never
so I'm
got
going to
the
read
sheet.
it off the.
Oh, you see right there.
No, this is not it. This is free agents. I don't have that sheet, so I'm going to read it off the screen. Thanks so much, Tom Mazawey.
We can't put it on the back wall. Am I correct, Sam?
We'll give it a try. So Andy Reid, Braylon, we'll do it quick. Andy Reid, Dan Campbell, better or worse?
Hell no. Andy Reid's best coach.
Bill Belichick.
Bill Belichick. I really don't want to. Are we doing current
No, this is current coaches right now.
What I'm saying is is the last couple seasons, like the last season, or just the
Bill
cash
Belichick's probably a better
All right,
coach
thank
than
you.
Andy
Bill
Reid.
Belichick.
Mike Tomlin. Sean Payton.
Campbell.
Nick Sirianni. Mike Shanahan. Not Mike Shanahan. Kyle Shanahan.
Kyle Shanahan. That's why I said Shanahan.
Sean McVay.
Ooh, Sean McVay.
Brian Dable.
Dable.
Really?
Brian. You see what he did with that Giants team? Like that Giants team sucked.
Pete Carroll.
Pete Carroll.
Doug Peterson. Matt, you can get on this too.
Yeah, I think Pete should be up higher.
Yeah, I agree. Pete Carroll, 100%. Pete Carroll. Pete Carroll's ahead. What's next?
Doug Peterson.
He won a Super Bowl recently. Doug Peterson.
John Harbaugh. Zach Taylor. Mike Vrabel.
They're like the same coach, but Vrabel has more success. I go, well. Vrabel.
A lot of dead air.
Yeah, like Vrabel by an inch. Like
Mike McDaniel.
I'm taking Mike McDaniel.
First of all, Mike McDaniel.
I love Mike McDaniel.
Have you seen this guy?
I love Mike McDaniel.
He's at the Miami Heat game, pumping the crowd
like a
up.
hipster.
And he's at the Florida Panthers game, banging the drum to get the crowd going. I love this guy.
Kevin O'Connell is 15th, the Minnesota Vikings coach. I would move Campbell, and I'd put him at 14 on this list.
For sure.
I'd move Campbell and put him at 14.
I'm trying to figure out how the hell Brian Dable got 8 though.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Because
he's
of
high.
exactly, no,
he can't be ahead of Pete Carroll.
I would if I'm being honest, I drop Brian Dable. I just do the slide. I drop Brian Dable in between Taylor and Vrabel.
I'm putting Dan Campbell at 13 or 14.
Okay.
I'm putting him at 13 or 14.
Fair enough.
The only thing about Vrabel is they were the number 1 seed. They were like number 1
With
seed.
Ryan Tannehill as his quarterback.
That's why I'm saying I got to give him love for that.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
I would slide Brian. Yeah, even Brian Daboll. Like I slide Brian Daboll. Actually, I might make him
16,
15, and then slide Kevin O'Connell to 16.
You know what? You haven't even brought up Sean McDermott yet. Where's he?
Well, I think he's underachieved,
22.
Sean McDermott.
Oh my God, no! He's got to move up.
Maz, soon as Brian Daboll was gone, that looked like a completely different Buffalo team last year. That was a completely different team you watched all last season.
I'd put McDermott at 15. I just don't think there's enough of a track record for Kevin O'Connell.
Whoa. Hold up.
Uh-oh. You got a microphone?
Hold up.
You got a microphone?
Hold up.
Uh-oh. We're sending Braylon to the board. We're sending Braylon to the board.
You see Robert Saleh low?
No, well, that too. Who in the hell put Brandon Staley number 20?
Oh, God.
Who in the hell put Brandon Staley
There's a lot of bad head coaches, Braylon. Look at that bottom row.
Sean McDermott ahead of him. Mike McCarthy ahead of him. Kevin Stefanski ahead of him. Frank Wright. We could talk about it. Saleh. If Saleh had a quarterback last year, we will be talking about Robert Saleh in the top same spaces right here.
He's going to jump up this year. Don't worry.
Robert Saleh, Todd Bowles belongs down there. Allen, all these guys are good. All this is good down here. But Staley belongs at least 27. And it's just because these guys are new and these guys are terrible. But there's no way he belongs at 20. He's been so bad. I know the Chargers have won games, but they haven't won any games that matter. They lose on prime time. They lost to the Jacksonville Jaguars last year after Trevor Lawrence threw 3 interceptions in the first half, maybe even 4, if I remember correctly. There's no way in hell Staley's here because he's not even going to have a job after this year. Our offensive coordinator will be taking that job. Get Brandon. In fact, Brandon Staley should be in the 30s.
That's hilarious.
He should be in the 30s. If he didn't have, what's his name, quarterback?
Justin Herbert.
He wouldn't even have a job.
So here's.
So you like the list?
Wait a minute here.
I like the list. The list is good.
So Stephen Baffy says MCDC is so underrated by his own team's fans. So sad. That is not true. I am saying that Dan Campbell belongs at about 13 or 14 on this list, and I take Daboll out and I take McDaniel out.
But this is also the thing too. Like this is where it goes to the home team giving a little bit too much credit. We want to move Dan Campbell for 15. His first season he was 3-13-1, and then the next year he started off 0-6 and he finished strong. But let's not take away both seasons. You got to give it both seasons. 3-13-1, started 0-6, and yes, you had the 8-2 finish. That doesn't mean he should go from 16 to 12 or 10. Nobody's underrating him.
And I think at 13 it's perfect because every coach that I am putting ahead of Dan Campbell has either won a Super Bowl or been to a Super Bowl. Yeah. Andy Reid, Bill Belichick, Mike Tomlin, Sean Payton, Sirianni, Shanahan, McVay, Carroll, Peterson, Harbaugh. Yeah. Harbaugh has been to a Super Bowl. Taylor
won a Super 2013,
and then Vrabel, I think, by virtue of the success he's had with Ryan Tannehill in Tennessee,
and he ended Tom Brady's career.
The elongated success he's had, I put him at 12, and so Dan Campbell would be 13.
Actually, you know what? I see another foul on the play. Mazza appreciate this one. You can't put LaFleur in front of Dan Campbell. You can't.
Why?
Because the Green Bay Packers were...
They haven't won the big playoff game, but they are 13-win team.
Dan Campbell ain't been to the playoffs.
I know.
Like Matt LaFleur, before they got to the year before, he got to Green...
LaFleur should be ahead of Campbell.
Thank you. That's one. Okay, yeah. I said you would appreciate that. He should be... LaFleur should be ahead of everybody except Taylor. Because LaFleur, when they got there, they were what? They were 6-10? They were 6-10 that last year with Aaron Rodgers before LaFleur got there. First year, 13-3. Next year, 13-3. Next year, 13-3. And then last year, they finished strong. Ain't no way in hell Matt LaFleur deserves to be below anybody except he should be 13.
Fair enough.
13 and 3
Dan's
seasons.
14.
313 in 3 seasons. Matt LaFleur has to be higher.
I'm good with that.
It's a good list. It's a good list. What else you got, Maz?
Speaking of Dan Campbell, now guys, I'm going to play a piece of Lions sound.
I almost got too angry right there.
Aaron Glenn, the defensive coordinator for the Lions, yesterday spoke to the media and spoke about the budding bromance between Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell.
When you're in a situation like that, man, the decisions that you make, man, you have to be on one accord. And listen, that doesn't mean you're going to agree on everything, all right? But when you come out that room, you'll never think they disagreed on it, all right? Because, again, they're on one accord. And I think that's how you should be as a staff in general.
That's so awesome. There's this video circulating. I forgot who put it out today, but it's involving a trade that the Jacksonville Jaguars made, a couple of trades in the first round. And it's Doug Peterson and I forget the general manager's name, Trent Baalke.
Trent Baalke. I know that guy.
And they're going back and forth. And I want to trade, but I don't want to lose this guy. And he says, Doug, what do you think I should do? Should I go for it? He said, yeah, go for it. Absolutely go for it. And Trent Baalke says, easy for you to say. And it worked out for him.
Roll the dice, Trent.
The only reason they post that video is because it ultimately worked out for him.
Of course.
But it's so funny. He's like, yeah, easy for you to say.
He's not lying. Doug Peterson won the Super Bowl, and he just got hired. So Baalke's like hanging in the balance.
Oh, gosh. All right, guys, we'll take a break. More NFL. I want to get your thoughts on this John Gruden situation, too.
Sure.
If we could. John Gruden reportedly helping Derek Carr install the offense for the New Orleans Saints. We'll do that.
Isn't he
first
so
message
NFL?
from Planet Fitness.
Absolutely. Planet Fitness is thrilled to allow high schoolers ages 14 through 19 in the United States and Canada to work out for free all summer long. Beginning, now through August 31st. Teens can register now and officially gain access to the club that day, with registration open during the summer months through August 31st. Teens ages 14 through 19 who register for high school summer pass can help win a scholarship for their school and participate in a TikTok video contest for a chance to win academic scholarships. For all the rest of us, Planet Fitness has all of the amenities with membership starting at only $10 a month, or you can even get additional amenities with the Black Card for $24.99 a month. Join in club or online today, or visit planetfitness.com. It's Planet Fitness, where your fitness is essential.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on Shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward Golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
At work and at home, we're there with smarter security solutions. Featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
The only sports network in Detroit that starts with a W. You know, because we win. Woodward Sports, Detroit's winning sports network.
Welcome back, woodwardsports.com. I wanted to get to this story because I do think it is interesting, and I don't think I was expecting to see a story like this, but it does make sense. There is a report that John Gruden is helping Derek Carr install the offense with the New Orleans Saints. Dennis Allen is their coach. NOLA.com reported this. Second round pick of the Raiders in 2014. Carr spent his entire career with the Silver and Black before signing a $150 million contract with the Saints in March. Carr was led by John Gruden. For years, they were neighbors together. Gruden unceremoniously was fired I believe he was fired, or did he resign? Was he fired? He was
fired.
Yeah,
he was thrown under the bus.
He was fired after.
You're fired.
Yeah, you're fired.
Vince McMahon.
The emails there was an investigation into the owner Daniel Snyder. For the Washington football team, and somebody leaked emails that John Gruden had sent to the league office, and I believe there were racial undertones
about DeMaurice Smith.
About DeMaurice Smith.
About the NFLPA rep.
I didn't remember the exact specifics of it.
But also, they were also in the homophobic undertones as well, talking about Jeff Fisher and the Rams, talking about the Michael Sam situation.
Yeah.
So there's that. So he is suing the NFL.
Right.
But he's helping Derek Carr.
Hey, if I was just the organization, if I was the New Orleans Saints in that organization, Maz, remind me, isn't it a family that owns? Well, it's always a family, but
the Bensons.
It's
Tom Benson's
widow,
second
right?
wife.
Exactly, that's what I thought. They run the organization. If I'm an organization, I just don't touch John Gruden. Like, I understand that his privacy was violated in terms of the emails being leaked. In terms that there was a definite invasion of privacy. I understand that. But you saw what you saw. You saw what you saw. It's no reason to have him around your organization right now with that going on. Now, with that said, hell, if him and Derek Carr got a good relationship, I mean, they know each other. They know each other well. You're talking about the quarterback guru. He became famous after he won a Super Bowl for having that quarterback classroom on ESPN. So you're talking about a guy that definitely could help Derek Carr out, definitely could push them to go where Maz thinks they're going to go, which is to win that NFC South. I mean, hey, it could be a good move for him. I myself personally, if I'm a team, why do you even bring John Gruden into the mix? I just don't understand it.
Well, you could say the same thing about Brian Flores. He's got the thing against the NFL. So does Gruden. But Pittsburgh brought him back, and now Minnesota brought him back.
Brian Flores doesn't have any emails saying he doesn't have any homophobic or any racial undertones.
But they both have things with the NFL.
In terms of the lawsuit side of things, it is what it is. Like, if you're a team that wants to get somebody that has a lawsuit against the NFL, it's against the NFL. It's not against your franchise.
I understand what you mean, though.
Bottom line is this, though. I think whether if somebody can help you win, regardless of what kind of person they are, you do it. The Cleveland Browns made Deshaun Watson the highest paid player in the NFL because they felt that he could lead them to a Super Bowl championship. And whatever John Gruden's help is behind the scenes at New Orleans, it is what it is. We don't have to like it, but it happens.
Yeah,
whether it's player, I'm not going to name any specific players other than Deshaun.
John Smith.
Yeah, John Smith or Joni and Chachi. You know what I mean? If a team believes they can help you win, they're gonna have you around.
Are they gonna make him available to the media? I doubt it.
Well, I don't think he's a team employee, so I think it's just kind of behind the scenes. So I don't think they can. Right? He's not being paid by the team. He's just kind of helping.
And who's paying him?
Maybe Derek Carr. Or maybe he's just doing it to be back in.
So is he going to be at the practice facility? Like, will he be at the facility?
Those are questions that are not answered in this report.
Those are questions that are real questions, though, because if I'm an individual and I know what his track record is, or I know what was found about him, I know what he said in his emails. It doesn't matter that it was his privacy. Like, let's say my brother's gay. And he made those comments, and I know he made those comments. Like, I'm like, oh, the hell with this guy. Like, you know what I'm saying? He's judgmental. Obviously, I'm an African-American. I'm black. You know, him, where I come from, is black. And I know he had racial undertones. I don't want this guy in the building. I don't want this guy around. I think more so for the locker room, it's a bigger question of having this guy around. But if he's behind the scenes and it's just Derek Carr and he, you know, at a practice field somewhere at a high school and they're doing their own thing or they're doing their own film study at Derek's house, well, then by all means, I just think to make people comfortable, I myself wouldn't have him around.
What does it mean when they install an offense? What does that mean?
So
he's helping install.
He'd be able to tell you better than I would.
That's what I'm asking.
So
I don't know what an install is.
Each year you change your offense, depending on if it's new offensive coordinator or if it's new people come in, new personnel. You change your offense, so you change the plays. The terminology never really changes. It's just how you move players. It's moving players around. It's the team you have. You got to install those plays, going over the plays, how you want them to be run, what the adjustments are, what the audibles are, what you see. Like, that's when the quarterback and the offensive coordinator, the quarterback coach, the wide receivers coach, the running backs coach, the lineman, line coach, that's when they get on the same page. And the offensive coordinator's job is to say, this is how our offense is going to run. This is how we're going to run these plays. This is what I want out of wide receivers. And that changes from time to time. So the install is to get you to understand the concept of the offense. Now, once the season happens, you know the concept. You just put in a couple plays here or there based on the teams you're playing. But this is where you install the bulk of the offense.
How about the language? The NFL has their own language. Do all the teams have the same language, and then you just change a couple things?
I was going to go down this road too, Maz. Actually, now I actually want to know more about the install.
Yeah, so there are certain words, rip and Liz is side to side. It's the protection. Rip and Liz used to
right
be
and left.
Exactly. The R&L, that'll never change. The R&L, Rip and Liz was a certain, that was more West Coast. That was Eric Coryell. That was what was
Bill Walsh.
Yeah, thank you, Bill Walsh.
Did you kill Bill Walsh?
Not me, not me, sir. Rita and Linda. Those are also protections. Then motions come into play. Zip motion. Zip means you zip across the formation. Zig is a return motion, which means you run to the quarterback and then you come back. Zag is a motion where you go all the way across the formation and then come back. That stuff doesn't change. A position. A is the adjustment wide receiver. That's the slot guy. F, that's another word for A, which is a slot guy. Z and X, that'll never change. Z is your guy off the ball. X is the receiver on the ball. A lot of this stuff doesn't change.
How about Peyton's Omaha?
Omaha, hot route, Omaha. A lot of that stuff start off as just Peyton trying to draw guys offside. Peyton just saying extra verbiage, trying to get guys like Ed Reed, trying to get guys like Ray Lewis, confuse them a little bit. A lot of that stuff wasn't anything. And then Omaha turned to a quick out route by Marvin Harrison.
When you played for the Jets and went to back-to-back AFC Championship games.
That offense was horrible.
But
thank you, Brian Schottenheimer.
All we did. Don't get me started.
I think my question is, if an offense is complex and so hard to learn, does that make it better or worse to play in for the defenders of it? Do you see what I'm kind of getting at?
I know 100%. It just depends on how your team, like who's the quarterback and who's the offensive coordinator guiding that situation, guiding that system. Because there are some systems I've been in that was like, come on, bro, like this doesn't need to be this difficult. Luckily, I went to Michigan and we had Terry Malone and this guy Leffler.
Smart kids.
Well, not even just that, but I knew you were going to say that. I set you up for success.
Speaking of,
go blue, man. We got Michigan in the building. Go blue.
Absolutely.
But there was a lot of terminology. So by the time I came out of Michigan, it was like I picked up on a lot of it. It was easy to pick up. But sometimes you want to make it easier for guys to pick up. Because a lot of times guys are coming in and they don't learn concepts. Guys just learn their position. So you want to know what the Z got. Well, I know I have this. I know I have that. I know I have that. I don't care what anybody else does. Nowadays, you got to learn the whole concept because that's how you see teams like teams like the Kansas City Chiefs. How they're so good. Because everybody can go everywhere. You look at the Eagles, everybody can go everywhere. You look at the Patriots over the year, everybody can go everywhere. Those are the teams that have success the most. It's the teams that have those complex offenses.
Yeah, next time we got to get a baseball guy in here because I want to know.
Southpaw Slappy's in the back.
I want to know all the signs. I mean, you see all the signs. You pull here.
Usually nothing.
What are the signs? How do you know which one is the sign? And the catcher, when he's putting all the numbers down.
Well, you've got to have an indicator. You've got to have an indicator. I mean, maybe in the first inning, this is the indicator. So this could be a steal, but this isn't a steal unless you get the indicator first.
That's true.
So,
we had those.
Or you
it's
could
just
go
another language.
Or you can go like this, and then the ear can be the indicator. You know what I mean? Doesn't matter.
We did that in the red zone.
You keep changing it. You got to have an indicator.
The old indicator.
Yeah.
We did that on the goal line. Like the quarterback would do a bunch of stuff, may hit the ear, or he might do something like that. But until he tucked his chin, none of that other stuff mattered. Once he tucked the chin, the next thing was live. That's what they call it. The next sign was live. So once he hit the chin and he hit you with this, I knew it was a slant. But if he did anything before the chin, it didn't matter.
That's unreal.
The belt buckle, in the youth baseball, belt buckle, B for bunt.
Yeah, bunt.
Oh.
If you hit your legs steal. I mean,
I would just tell the kids, hey, steal.
Oh gosh! Hey, I want
They were
to
8
show.
years old.
I want to show you some mock-up helmets.
I love this.
I've been waiting to do this for a couple of days.
too.
We're going to do it next. But first, a message from Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. You can walk into any Lady Jane's for an award-winning haircut experience and automatically enter for your chance to win not one but 2 vehicles of your choice, courtesy of Les Stanford Buick GMC of Ferndale. That's right, 2 cars, one for you, one for your wife, your girlfriend, your best bud, your son, your daughter, your mom, your dad, your aunt, your uncle, whoever you want to give it to. It's up to you. All you have to do is walk into a Lady Jane's, several locations throughout the Metro Detroit area, and of course several nationwide. There is one near you. Walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome. Wicked awesome.
We aren't quite sure if they consume more beer or sports. Either way, the heavyweights are here. Live on Woodward Sports, daily 5 to 7 p.m.
Big Boy Strawberry Fest has officially arrived, and we're here to show you the very best flavors of the season. Satisfy your sweet tooth with our deep-fried vanilla Oreos, strawberry hot fudge cake, and a slice of our classic strawberry pie. But that's not all. Cool off on a refreshing summer splash salad, or savor the flavors of our chicken Caesar wrap and strawberry bacon chicken wrap. And for breakfast lovers, don't miss out on our strawberry hotcakes or our mouth-watering red velvet waffle. Strawberry Fest is something for everyone. Celebrate the sweet season with us at Big Boy.
You have an opinion? Make sure it's seen and heard. Corner, jumper, tweet us, hop on the YouTube chat, slide in the DMS at Woodward Sports on all social media.
Oh, welcome back.
Oh, yeah.
We've got some guests in studio, and we're just giving them a little bit of an inside how we get the show.
Fourth wall, man. We're taking the fourth wall.
Right. Some insight on how we get the show done here at Woodward Sports. Hopefully they're having a great time. Tom Mazawey, I've wanted to do this for a couple of days, but it's helmet mock-ups on Instagram. Walk me through this because
it's by Ted Hyman on Instagram.
I love him, but I hate him. I hate walking the fence.
There's a few of them that
I
are
hate
really
anything new.
There's a few of them that are really cool, especially to me.
But you want new uniforms.
Yes.
Hey, I love this Tennessee Titan. Let's put these up there, JB or Parker, whoever's doing this. There's the Tennessee
Pretty
Titans
cool,
mock-up.
aren't they?
Isn't that a cool looking? I love that helmet.
It's almost like the Color Rush explosion, for lack of a better way to say it. It's these just really huge logos.
Man, the Oilers Houston started, obviously, man. That color scheme is always one of the best of all time.
Beautiful.
You know I'm a diehard Oilers fan because of
Love
my
your
dad.
blue.
And it carried on to the Titans, man. The Titans uniforms are always good. That helmet right there, that's fire. It might keep Derrick Henry in Tennessee.
It kind of looks like fire, too, a little bit from
I think
here,
it looks
does
really
not?
good.
It's like the Olympic Flame in '96.
Yeah, no doubt. I think it looks pretty good, too. All right, what's number 2?
Let's go. Number 2. The Jags.
I like this.
It's okay.
Little bit more black. I don't like it with that jersey, though. They should have showed it with a black jersey.
I still like their black helmet with the Jaguar on there.
I do too.
I don't know. I vote this one down. Rye, what do you think?
I'm going to go thumbs down on this. I just don't like anything regarding the Jacksonville Jaguars except Marcus Pollard.
They should have had my guy. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. They should have a black face mask on there because the yellow with the white chin strap and then it's not doing it for me.
All right, let's go to number 3, JB or Parker.
Ooh, Bray? Is that you? No, it's Garrett Wilson.
No, he's too small. He's too small. But he's the real 17. Garrett Wilson's the real deal. Can't wait to watch him with Aaron Rodgers. In terms of the helmet, now is it white in the back mask?
I can't
Is that
tell.
what I'm saying? It's okay, white in the back.
White in the back.
So kind of like a Michigan Wolverine, almost kind of like with the. Okay, I see what they're doing. Nah, I'm good.
Let me say this about the Jets.
You got the other Jet.
I hate their helmet now. What they did to their helmet now is a disgrace. First, they had the Joe Namath Jets in the football, which was always a classic, white, 2 green stripes. Then they went to the all-green Kelly Green helmet with the Jets across with the airplane. That was the Ken O'Brien, Wesley Walker sack exchange team of the 80s and 90s.
Walker.
Loved them. Loved Wesley Walker and the Lions and the Jets. Now they go to this crappy. It's like it's in a football.
Watch out! You know I wore that helmet, right?
I know. It's in a. I just don't like the Jet logo now. To me, it's garbage.
Yeah.
I think they should go back to the 80s and 90s, jets across the helmet, green helmet.
The Mark Gastineau jets.
Yes, the Sack Exchange.
Yes, the Sack
jets.
Exchange. I agree.
Or go back to the original white helmet with the Kelly green football and the 2 stripes like Joe Namath wore.
The Mark Sanchez helmet, right?
Or the Braylon Edwards.
The Braylon.
How you say Mark Sanchez? I'm sitting right next to you. What type of Mickey Mouse organization is this? Wow.
Do we have another helmet, JB?
Wow. Hey, yo. What a guy.
All right, let's go to the next helmet.
It be your own people.
Here you go.
You're a dirtbag.
Here's the Miami Dolphins. The Miami Dolphins.
I was on defense.
That's kind of cool, isn't it?
Yeah, get rid of that Dolphin. Where's Flipper?
Where is
Bring
Flipper?
him back. The greatest helmet of all time was the 1972 to 19 whatever Miami Dolphin helmet.
17 and
That's an ugly helmet. Actually, the more I look at it, I don't even know what it is.
Get rid of that. And get rid of the Dolphin that they have there now. He's like a nondescript Dolphin.
Why don't we like
you know
this Dolphin?
He's a nondescript.
Why don't
Dolphin.
we like this Dolphin?
He looks like a sardine.
Well, you know, Peter
That's what
had
he looks
something.
like.
Peter had something to do with that, man. They wanted it to be more fluffy, like animated. They didn't want it to look so real.
Oh, the Dolphin with the helmet on it. That was the Dolphin.
I think that helmet
Ray
would look
Finkel, man.
sweet
Laces
without
out,
the
baby.
orange. Without the orange, just a white helmet with that blue floating dolphin in there.
Well,
You gotta have some orange in there.
Yeah, some orange.
A little bit. Just a hint.
A hint.
Any more helmets, JB?
One more,
Let's go.
Maz.
Here we
The
go.
Lions did not make this top 5 list. I love this one.
Ooh,
Look at this.
that's nice.
Look at those pants too.
I feel like
It's just a bigger Buccaneer flag.
Yeah.
I feel like the Phoenix Suns have jerseys that look like the pants, like that orange fade kind of orange hybrid.
Gradient, yeah.
I like that. I like that. I don't like the jersey. I hate when they do this and they don't mock everything. Like the jersey doesn't match the pants, but that pants and helmet I like.
Well, you know which Buccaneers helmet I like. It's the original.
What's his name?
Bucko Bruce.
Bucko Bruce.
Bring back Bucko Bruce, the swashbuckling pirate with the sword in his mouth and the hat with the feather. That is the best Buccaneer.
He never took his sword out of his mouth apparently because they lost a lot of games.
They did.
They might be the
lost a lot
worst
of
team.
games.
They might be the worst team in the league this
No,
year.
Arizona is.
Well, Arizona and Tampa.
Tampa's gonna be the worst team in the
No,
league.
they're
Well,
not.
here's where Maz might have you.
My guy is not going to allow that to happen.
Their division is better. Arizona's division is way better, so that's 5 losses right there, or 6 losses right there.
Baker Mayfield's a starting quarterback.
My guy Baker will not let them lose that many games.
But you know, could they beat Carolina?
Oh, really?
Yes.
Your guy Baker's not going to allow that to
He's
happen?
not going to allow it.
Your guy Baker's a starting quarterback making $8.5 million. He don't got a lot to say of what's going to win or not.
Could they beat Carolina at home?
No.
You know?
No, they can't. Frank Reich's ahead. They got Bryce Young. That defense was damn good last year. They're going to lose that game. Keep going. Atlanta, they're going to lose.
Yeah,
those.
I think it's between Tampa and Houston is going to be bad this year. But again, their division is soft. I don't
Houston's
think
going to be better than people think.
I think their division is soft. But yeah, it's between Houston, it's between Tampa, and it's between Arizona for the number 1 pick. I think that will be 1, 2, and 3 in any particular order.
Tampa
in this
won't win more than 3 games.
Yeah.
I don't think they win more than 3 games.
I think they will. They got too much talent on the team
What
to
does that
lose
mean?
that many.
They-
You got Mike
I'd have to
Evans
look-
and
Hold on.
still.
Can I look
Who's
at their
gonna
roster
throw
real
them the
quick?
ball?
Baker Mayfield.
My point exactly. 3 wins.
All right.
Let me look at their depth
see.
chart real quick.
We will.
We'll see.
Mike
They got a
Evans,
good-
Chris Godwin, Russell Gage.
Here's the kicker. They had 8 wins with Tom
they got
Brady
nobody.
last year.
Yeah,
They only had 8 with Tom Brady last year.
they got a good defense.
And Tom Brady's the best of all time.
They got a
8.
really good defense. Devin White, Levante David,
They had those guys
Shaq
last
Barrett,
year. They had
Jamal
those guys
Dean.
last year.
They're going to win more than 3.
They had those same. Your guys not listening. They had those same guys last year, and they had the GOAT at quarterback.
I say they win
and they
between
had a bad
3 and
offensive
5.
line. They got a bad offensive line this year, and they got Baker Mayfield at quarterback.
Who's the Florida quarterback they have waiting in the wings?
Trask.
Yeah, Kyle Trask. You might see Kyle Trask.
They're going to win 3 games.
Thank you. Yes.
They're going to win 3.
Yes.
All
right.
They're going to win 3.
Whatever.
This very difficult schedule.
I'll take the
Why you
over.
love
Very
Baker?
difficult
Did you love
schedule.
Baker like this in Oklahoma? Or was it once he got
Not
to Cleveland?
really.
Very
Once he got here,
difficult schedule.
And he got
Very
crapped
difficult.
on by everybody. That's
He
why
had
I
a
started
good
liking
year.
him.
He had a
I
decent
just think
year.
he got, never mind. Just forget the
Baker
whole
made his own.
No,
he made
they're
his
going to
own-
win
he
3
dug his own
games.
grave.
They might win less than 3, actually.
Here's something for you guys before we go to a
He don't
commercial.
want us to talk about Baker.
Let's put up the most miles traveled this season. It's coming up. Look at these teams and the travel schedule that they're going to go through. I guess you could guess who the number one team would be. Yes. It's going to be Seattle because they travel.
Braylon, what
can you tip up there?
Listen, you played for the 49ers. You played for the Seahawks.
I played for Seattle.
What does this mean? Does this really affect you, the amount of plane travel?
Hell yeah, it affects you. Like traveling from Seattle we played Miami when I was in Seattle. You know how long that flight is? Like 7 hours, like 6.5 hours. Flight was so long, and then when you don't have coaches that understand the value of leaving 2 days ahead of time, when you're coming from Seattle and you're playing against Miami, first of all, it's extremely hot. You're not used to that humidity coming from Seattle, but you're on a plane for 6.5 hours. You can't leave on Saturday. You gotta leave. You might leave Thursday night, but definitely Friday so that you get there early and let the layers get accumulated. When I was in Seattle, I think I had to go to Baltimore, which is a far trip. We went to Miami, which is a far trip. It was another long game, too.
Don't forget, you got Europe now. A lot of these teams going to Europe.
Long story short, we lost to the Miami Dolphins, and they weren't that good. We lost to the Baltimore Ravens in 2012. They were good. I mean, they went to the Super Bowl that year. But it was just a long trip. It takes the whole game to get into the flow. By the time you really get loosened up, Mavs, by the time you get into the flow of the game, man, it's like the end of the third quarter. This fourth quarter, and it's too late by then. Those are real deal. The closest team to Seattle, by the way, the closest game you can play, I want to say, is Denver. I think it's Denver. That's a 2-hour flight. The closest flight from Seattle is a 2-hour flight. It's Denver, and I think the 49ers are like 2 hours 25 or something like that. That's a lot. I didn't realize that when I signed the contract.
Isn't that something?
Yeah.
Guys, we'll take a break. One more break. Come right back, and we may have some Pistons news. But first, we're going to take a quick break. We'll check this out.
Okay, let's talk through all these golf events that you have coming up.
Gabby, I'm glad you asked. Got my calendar right here. July 17th at Red Run, and then July 31st, I have the American Golf outing for the Cancer Society.
I also have the American Cancer Society golf outing on the 31st. And also, I got yours on the 18th, buddy.
Yeah, I'm going to be there.
Boys, these are a lot of events and golf outings.
Well, you want me to miss my own golf tournament?
Gabby, they're all great cars.
I mean, this is...
Hold on. I got this. Guys, I got this. Don't worry about it. Hold on a second.
You always.
Hey guys, thanks for coming so fast. How are ya?
Remember you guys from Randy Wise, right? Sir. The Randy Wise Celebrity Golf Tour.
Watch for the eye.
There it is. Stay tuned.
It's the Randy Wise Celebrity Golf Tour. Some of the biggest names in Michigan sports, and some, well, not so much. Brought to you in part by Premier Security Solutions, Fairway Packing Company, and Swiss Insurance. Watch episodes at woodwardsports.com.
Introducing the Planet Fitness Guide to getting that post-workout glow. Step 1. What's your why? More epic energy? Better sleep? Blow off steam? Step 2. Join Planet Fitness for just $10 a month and get moving in our clean and spacious clubs. Step 3. Bask in that post-workout glow. Join Planet Fitness today for just $10 a month.
Join today at any of the 50-plus Detroit area locations.
The only sports network in Detroit that starts with a W. You know, because we win. Woodward Sports, Detroit's winning sports network.
How about that rookie? He is something else. How big is that?
All of Detroit's sports teams live on Woodward. All of Detroit's sports coverage lives on Woodward Sports. Driving the best in Detroit sports coverage.
Just a little bit of Pistons news before we leave you this weekend. Kevin Ollie has put an Instagram post out that he is leaving Overtime Elite. He has not confirmed that he is the new head coach of the Pistons. The Pistons have nothing out, but he is leaving Overtime Elite.
You know where he's going.
He's coming here. He's going to be the coach of the Pistons.
Oh, good. I mean, that's somebody that comes in. His cash that he has. I mean, he was a champion in college. He was a pretty good player in the NBA. Really good point guard, 2 guard, and also he won national championship with UConn Huskies 2013, I do believe. So he has a pedigree of an individual that can teach the game, and that's what they need.
Maybe he'll bring Rip Hamilton to the bench with him.
And that's not a bad move at all.
Yeah.
You know, one of the biggest things about this team is they're young. A bunch of young guys on the team, second youngest team in the league. You need somebody that can teach these guys, somebody that can put some of those fundamentals that they didn't get because they didn't stay in Coop for 3 years.
I really want to, and I'm not saying this because we love the guy, but I want to see Lindsey Hunter on that staff. I really do, and I know he wants to be a head coach, and we all want him to be a head coach. But, you know, he's got that pit bull in him, and he was a two-time champion. Played with LeBron.
Nonsense guy.
I mean, come on, man. We know what he is. He is the number one pick of the Pistons. Him and 1 and 1A.
Allen Houston.
Allen Houston, of course. They went 1 and 1A. They had to wear those teal uniforms with Grant Hill back in the day. And he's put his time in the college game. He is a tremendous evaluator of talent and a great coach of young men and women. And I think he'd be a great fit on that Pistons bench. I hope Kevin Ollie reaches back to some former Pistons.
Yeah.
I don't know Rip Hamilton if he's doing anything in the coaching business. Former UConn guy himself. I like the fit of that. I think you got to bring back a little history of this franchise, at least for the people here in Detroit to wrap their arms around something.
They bring in Kevin Ollie. I want to bring back a Mega Okafor, man. Not a Mega Okafor. I'm tripping. Point guard. You know what I'm talking about.
Khalid El Amin?
No, he know what I'm talking about. Recently, we had him actually, and then we bought him out.
Was that Ben Gordon?
Kemba
Walker.
I want to bring back Kemba Walker. I think that'll be good.
There
A veteran point guard, veteran leader. Bring back Kemba Walker.
Maz, you got any big plans this weekend?
Oh, yeah.
You're going to Cleveland. We already did that. You're hanging out.
I ain't going to Cleveland.
No, you ain't going to Cleveland. You want to wrap us up, Bray?
Look, man, everybody go out there, get outside, have a good Memorial Day weekend. Remember the reason for the season. Remember the guys and the women that laid their life on the line for this country to be successful. So, hey, go have fun. See some fireworks, go downtown, get some fresh air, get out of here.
Tigers are home. Go see them.
Are you going tonight, Maz?
I'm not. I'm going to be packing tonight.
He's going to Cleveland.
Yeah. Well, he's going tomorrow, right?
Packing tonight, heading down, go see the Guardians tomorrow and Sunday.
Go see the Guardians. Too bad they're not playing the Tigers.
I know. Guess what? The Tigers are home here, and I'm leaving them. So that kind of pisses me off.
You should wear your Tigers jersey there.
I will.
See the Tribe.
You know I will.
There you go.
There we go, man.
All right.
Parker, JB, Fletch. Not Fletch. Fletch is gone. It's Flannel Sam,
Fletch is still listening, though.
You said, well, I'm saying in the studio, though. That's how we miss you here, Fletch. Ryan, Ermanni, love you. See you guys later.